G'day, Shaney from Wine & Grape TV, and thank you for joining me in my home bar. But more importantly, thank you for helping me spread McLaren Vale wine to the world. Today, after a lovely spring day in McLaren Vale, I thought I'd share with you one of my favourites. I've been doing this, the videos and my wine sales website, tastemclarenvale.com.au, for about 2.5 years now. And this wine that I'm about to show you is one that I found very soon after I started doing all this, and it's still one of my favourites. It's called Valletta, and it's a Grenache Shiraz from 2006. Now the Valletta it's labelled under Sellicks Hill Wines. It's made by Paul Patagna, and the patch of dirt that it all comes from is from the family vineyard. Now, as far as I'm aware, the people that own this wine, that Paul made it on their behalf, are not actually marketing it at all, and I believe I'm the only one actually selling it. Certainly the only one selling it on the internet. Most people that I've put this under their nose and tried have been impressed. It's been a reasonably good seller for me. And I think at about $30 a bottle for a 6-year-old wine of this calibre is an absolute steal. But let's not just yabber on about it here, let's do some of the wanky thing. The wine's been open for about 3 hours. I wanted to give this as much breathing time as I could. Now, I always thought this was interesting when I first tried this wine. 6-year-old wine, 3 years in barrel, 3 years in bottle. That itself's okay, but Grenache 3 years in barrel, I was thinking, oh, we're going to get a Grenache that's over oaked. Grenache itself really wants to marry with some older oak. Just get some subtle oak flavours in there. No big oak monster coming in and taking over the delicate flavours of the wine. Now, saying that I was concerned after trying this wine and trying it many times, I shouldn't have been concerned at all. Now, what am I getting here on the nose? There's certainly a little bit of red and black fruit action there. I'm getting a little cherry, just a hint of raspberry that you would expect from the Grenache. And right on the back of the nose, a bit of blackberry, not blackcurrant, but blackberry from the Shiraz. But the bit that really draws me in with this wine is not necessarily the fruit. It's the maybe you call it the secondary characters. I'm getting some really interesting spice characters coming through there. I'm getting some anise. I'm getting some violets. I'm getting some herbs. But probably getting more of the cinnamon, cardamom, maybe, what else is in there? It's quite complex, in other words. Yeah, definitely the anise. I get the cinnamon, the cardamom. I was going to say nutmeg, but I'm not sure it's nutmeg. But maybe it's the cedar characteristics of the French oak coming through, more than saying that it's nutmeg. But yes, if you hadn't already gathered, quite a complex wine. There's lots happening in this wine. Certainly not shy in the aromas at all. And that has developed nicely over the 3 hours. The wine really does need time to open up. Unless you've got a aerator, I suggest giving it the 2 or 3 hours that it needs. And you will find a vastly different wine with a little bit of air in there. Now, getting that complexity again, I'm getting like a a fruit compote in there to start with. The same red and black fruits that I was talking about before. So cherries, raspberries, and a little bit of blackberry. Maybe a little plum in there as well. What I find very interesting, 2006 was an excellent year here in McLaren Vale. And what I find very interesting in here is that they're like fresh fruit. I'm getting fresh fruit characters, not stewed fruit, but fresh fruit characters. And that's actually one of the things I really enjoy about this one. What's also there is the complexity. So I'm getting some anise. There is the oak there, but it's not overpowering anything. There's no drying tannins on the finish. It's a seamless approach to the wine. Now, in saying that, I'm not saying that that there's not a lot of tannins. There is a very good tannin structure to this wine. And what I think also is that there's good ripe tannin structure. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm not getting green characters coming through, the herbaceousness that can sometimes be caused by the green pips in the grapes. And when they do the crushing and the fermenting, they can impart that greenness to a wine. I'm not getting any of that here. So I'm certainly getting some grape seed tannin and a little bit of oak tannin, oak action in there as well. But again, there's tannins there. You know there's tannins there because it's adding structure to the wine. But I'm not getting like big envelopes of oak flavour, if you like, coming through as well. It's more on the subtle side, and when I mean subtle, I mean in spices. So again, all those spices I was talking about before, the anise, the cardamom, the cinnamon, maybe the nutmeg this time. All those spices are there, and again, they're not there in big overarching things. They're there in more subtle ways, which just creates a lovely overall balance to the wine. What I also like about the wine is there's plenty of acid there. You get the tannins in the mouth, but the acid there's enough to actually clean the whole palate at the end of the wine, and that does two things to me. That does, and there's an enjoyment factor because it's not making the wine just all covered in oak or all covered in fruit. It's saying, okay, I'm clean, let's go to the next one. The other thing I like about this wine is that it does just make my mouth water. The acids at the end just cap it off nicely. So it's actually saying to me that I want another glass of this wine. With my mouth watering. It's just saying feed me more, or feed me Seymour, maybe, for those that know that line from a famous movie. Yeah, this is a doozy. Yeah, there's just such character in that wine. For a 6-year-old wine, as I said, I think $30 a bottle is a steal for this quality and the age of the wine. As I mentioned before, tastemclarenvale.com.au. Check it out there if you're looking for it. But yeah, I really do enjoy this wine, and like I said, it's been one of my best sellers since started this, and therefore that's why I wanted to share it with you. Now, in terms of food, I'm thinking lamb. Today I had a Mexican that was pork based. That would have actually not been sorry, I shouldn't use all the negatives, should I? That would have been quite nice wine to have with that, though of course that was for lunch. But yeah, just a lovely wine that goes well with any range of meats, I reckon. So look, that's all we have time for Lane & Grape TV today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me share, or being part of sharing the Valletta with you. I'm going to enjoy the rest of that bottle later. Hope you have a great week, and I'm sure I will, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.